if it's the right one, but
But this
so
is
this
it.
is this is
This
our
is
third
it.
attempt on this
Yes.
live. So welcome everybody to MabuTribe, where we help you enjoy your natural crown. We are in the business of celebrating identity, and we are doing it through hair. So I would love to introduce to you our wonderful guest Karabo today. She is a storyteller. She shares as Black Mom Chronicles on social media, and I've been following her for some time. I love the way that you share so authentically your mom journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, the fulfilling parts of motherhood. And you reached out on social media and said, hey guys, I'm ready to learn about my hair, anybody help me, and we had some Mabu tribe queens reach out to us and say, hey, hook a sister up, Tlholo, we know you love doing this kind of stuff. And then this is why we're having this live, because we want
Yeah.
to chat about that. But firstly, we want to know a little bit more about Karabo. Can you tell us a little bit about, the Black Mom Chronicles, why you sharing on social media? Please share a little bit about yourself.
Oh, yeah. You telling the story really felt like an answered prayer because, like, I really did pray about it when I wanted, someone I could walk the hair journey with. So the fact that we're having this conversation feels like such a cool thing. Hello,
Uh,
everyone. Yeah, man. Thank you for having me, Tlholo. So yes, I'm a mommy blogger. I'm a writer. I'm a content creator with Black Mom Chronicles,
nice.
and I started blogging when my daughter was about 7 months old, because I was already kind of sharing my stories. I was already on social media, and I was
Okay.
already kind of telling the kind of the everyday realities of what it was like to be a Black mother. And then the chronicles is just the stories, a storyteller, right?
Uh-huh.
So 7 months in, I saw that there's actually such an online community around motherhood that felt so relatable. But then there's certain elements of the story that I felt were different. I think motherhood is not just a blanket, right? We are
Yeah,
moms who
yeah,
go through the same kind of journey, but because we are all such different people, we have different stories to share. We have different perspectives
absolutely.
something to contribute. So I was like, let me join the community and let me share, because I think what I thought my journey would be in terms of the story I tell is how overwhelming motherhood was, because I was about 26 and it was the last thing on my mind when I
Mm,
fell pregnant,
sure.
and I went into it already still carrying the grief of losing my own mother as well.
Oh
So it
man.
was quite overwhelming. Like mentally, it took a lot. It took a lot for me to navigate whether or not I have what it takes to be a good mother.
Sure.
What does that even look like if you don't have a point of reference?
Mm,
So that was the essence, and that's how the journey has now morphed itself into what it is now, where I really stand for maternal mental health and
wow.
conscious parenting, because I'm like, sometimes you don't really know how this looks like, but you can learn. And you
Yes.
can do it differently.
Mm,
You can break those cycles and not kind of go into just the same things that don't really work for us anymore.
mm.
And I think my hair care journey has been one of those things for me, because I grew up, because nataba, man, like I grew up like a tomboy, right?
Okay,
Like
okay,
I just wanted to play, and I didn't pay attention to my hair. Like
okay.
not doing hair was kiloko salooning, and then bang relaxite, and then I come
Yeah,
home and I'm combing it for like a week, and then I'm like over
you're
it,
done.
and
Okay.
then I'm done, and then I'm doing something else. So I never really got to learn. All I knew, like, and I was so I don't even know what that what type hair is that. All I just know that
True.
I was
Yeah.
so yeah. And then now I'm a mother of two children, Tlholo, and I'm like, man, this the hair is so beautiful,
Mm,
and I'm not taking care of it because I don't know how to take
mm.
care of my own.
Sure, sure.
And they're watching this and they're also learning.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, so what am I teaching them? Because, like, I think parenting is such a beautiful relationship of learning,
Yes.
where they teach me so much about myself, but then I also stand as a guide for them as well, because I really
Absolutely.
am a point of reference for them about what womanhood looks like, and as they grow, what motherhood looks like. I'm
Yeah.
standing as some kind of role model. So I just took it upon myself, and I think where it started was, so I'm also on a self-care journey, right? Because now
Okay.
I'm learning to pay attention. Just
Yeah.
pay attention to your hair, pay attention to your nails, just stop, look at yourself. I think
Okay.
that's what self-care looks like, in my world.
Mm.
So now I then went to go braid a few months ago, and my hair looked really nice. Like I think I had the same kind of box braids. But then because my hair looked nice, I was no longer paying attention. So I wasn't taking care of my braids because
Okay.
I was under the assumption that the braids are enough to keep me going. And then when I undid my hair, yo, it was such a mess. And I think it's been a journey. It's not a first time thing.
This time
But I
thing.
think that
Yeah.
led me, yeah, but that led me to, like, that was my frustration of being unable to
Yes.
take care of my hair just kind of blew up. I was like, no man. Because like my hairline here was gone. Like I did not have any sort of hair here. Like
Sure.
washing your hair and then finding so much of it because it was so dry. Also, by the
Yeah.
time I was
Yeah.
taking it off,
Yeah.
because I wasn't doing much. Spraying saying it's enough, and it's like no, because I'm also always on the move so much. So fast, fast, fast,
Okay.
fast, and
So
you're
yeah.
going.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Then it led to just going through that process of just thinking and praying. Okay, so how can I kind of help myself right
Okay.
now? Because
Okay.
sharp, you've identified frustration, and the cause of your frustration is that you actually don't really know much about hair. So learn
Mm,
about it. And then I was
nice.
like, wait, can I learn online community, man? And I do that a lot. I reach out to the community as well because I think social
Yeah.
media is so powerful
So powerful. Yeah.
as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
So I did that, and your people were like, Mabu tribe. Yeah, the Mabu tribe was like, girl. So yeah, that's my journey, and that's my hair kind of journey as well. Just kind of summarize.
Wow, wow. I love that. And I think I love because you're a storyteller, I think you were so open to us having this conversation live with,
Mm,
our communities, and we're able to share it with our communities as well. What what I appreciated was your vulnerability, to say, hey, I don't
mm,
know my hair.
mm.
And that's actually a big part of why. So with as Mabu Tribe, when I take a client through, so we're gonna have like a mock consultation
Okay,
here, you
okay,
know
okay,
and
cool.
it's going to be like a speed course to
Okay,
understanding your hair real
love
quick.
it. Okay, okay,
Real
love that.
quick.
Yeah.
But you said something about your children sort of like looking at you to figure out life, I guess, right? They're learning from you,
Mm,
and you want to be able to pass on some stuff to them. And
mm,
one thing that I found when I went on my hair understanding journey, because I also only understood my hair when it was straightened and relaxed, and
mm,
then once I had to stop because actually I lost my hairline, and so it was more
mm,
like okay, I had to stop relaxing, specifically,
mm,
and then just sort of try heal my scalp and hair, and then
mm,
that's when I
mm,
started meeting the texture of my hair, the natural texture of my hair,
mm,
which for me
mm,
was like, how I didn't have the equipment, the
mm,
tools, nothing. And
mm,
the feeling I got when I had to attend to my hair was anxiety, was stress,
mm,
and sadness,
mm,
actually, because I felt like there's a
mm,
part of me that I can't actually celebrate. I'm curious for
mm.
you, when you sort of attend to your hair and your kids' hair, what's the feeling? Let's hear what the feeling is.
I think it's quite overwhelming
Okay.
because it feels like territory that I don't know anything about.
Okay.
So it's always required a sense of bravery when you have
Okay.
to like go in that field, and I haven't been feeling brave enough because mine I can't, if I don't have the tools, how am I going to even attempt to do it? i
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
benny I did Benny and Betty on Sunday with the small one because I kept like lower, like I
You can
just
plait.
struggle,
Yeah.
man. I
Yeah.
don't, yeah,
Yeah.
plaiting is not a thing
Yeah.
for me yet, but I gathered the bravery that was required
Sure.
for
Sure.
me to be able. And it was so beautiful because usually the kids also don't cooperate when it comes to hair as well. Like you've
Yeah.
got that
Yeah.
kind of, it's a very complex hair journey. When you touch their hair, they already like, zoop, don't, hey, don't touch me, don't touch me.
Yeah.
But on
Yeah.
that Sunday I was like, no man, there was cooperation. We were washing her hair and she wasn't fighting, and we washed, and we even blew it a little bit, and she sat through it out. So I was like, okay. So I then chose to be brave. So I think that the feeling is exactly that. Like I feel like I'm going into unknown territory, and that kind of like some not knowing what you're doing
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
not a nice feeling, and usually
Yeah.
we just
You
want
just
to like ignore
exactly.
it and be like, I don't have to do it, but it's like, nah, bro, you have to do
Yeah, yeah. And
it.
the thing about wellness, which you brought up, and I'm glad that you're talking about wellness and hair, because with
Mm,
wellness, um, at least here at MabuTribe, what we say is that, like, how you see yourself affects how you show up in the
mm,
world.
yeah,
So
word.
if you're carrying a part of you,
Mm,
even if it's nails, if your nails are like you're not comfortable,
yeah,
you'll be
yeah,
like talking
word.
like this, you know what I mean? Like, and
Mm,
all of a sudden
mm,
there's a level of shrinking that happens with you.
mm,
And
mm,
so when it comes to hair, the journey that we want to take you through, even in this quick short time that we have, is
yeah.
a journey of one embrace.
Mm,
Embracing what you have, and embracing is about just having a level of acceptance in a positive light, because acceptance is like, oh, this
mm,
is what I have. Re tla reng.
yeah,
That's acceptance
yeah.
sometimes, right? But
Mm,
embrace is where you begin
mm,
to see what you have been gifted with, um, and begin to, just let that settle with you.
mm, mm,
And after embracing what it is that you have and saying, this is what I have, this is what my child has,
mm,
which is also sometimes different from what you have. The texture thing is so vast and
mm,
different. The
mm,
second thing that we want to take our clients through is the education, which you spoke about.
mm,
So once you're not trying to fight and shift and change what you have, getting education about what it is that you have becomes an important part. And then
mm,
lastly, celebration. When you celebrate, how can you celebrate something that you don't know, that you don't understand?
mm,
So we're
mm,
hoping that we can take you through even that journey of being able to just celebrate your hair, meaning you're equipped to style it, you're equipped to show
mm,
up with it in different
yeah,
forms.
yeah.
So maybe let's start with embrace.
Mm,
What about your hair should you embrace, right? um
mm,
the first thing is around, and I'm so curious to hear what your understanding of this point is. The first thing to embrace, which many
mm,
people actually don't know, is that no two sets of hairs are the same. And one of the things
mm,
is hair growth and the rate at which your hair grows. So if you and I cut our hair bald, the
mm,
hair would go through different cycles, right? There would be a growth
okay.
stage,
Mm,
but that growth stage happens at a different rate. So you and I cut our hair, 6 months time, my growth length is this much. Your hair has grown this much in 6 months.
mm,
That's a genetic thing. It's a growth
mm,
rate. The rate at which
mm,
your hair grows will be different from
mm,
person one to person two. And if you don't know this, you're going to be eaten by the marketers, right? Thinking that I can
mm,
do something that will make
mm,
my hair
mm,
growth just not what it naturally is. So the rate at which your
mm,
hair grows is something that a lot of people don't know it's unique to you.
mm,
Then
mm,
another thing is that the everybody has a maximum hair length, which is also
mm,
something a lot of people don't know. So some of the longest, so remember I was saying your hair grows, it grows,
mm,
it's a growth rate. Then after that, after growing, it pauses, it sheds,
mm,
you know, after
mm,
shedding, there's a time where it waits a little bit and then it happens all over again. But by the grace of God, those cycles are happening at different times. Otherwise, we'd
mm,
literally go bald and then, we'd go bald, pause,
yeah.
grow hair, go bald, pause, grow
Mm,
hair, go. But
mm,
20% of the hair is at different stages at different times. So you never really see that baldness happening. So that's why losing some hair, not like losing
mm,
hair, but hair shedding is
yeah.
natural. But there's hair
Mm,
shedding and there's hair just falling out,
loss.
because what you
Yeah,
just
yeah,
described about it being dry, right?
yeah.
um so growth rate, and there's actually a maximum growth length that actually happens.
Mm,
And I mean, our Asian sisters and brothers have some of the longest growth rates, hence their
mm,
hair is being used
mm.
for extensions and
Everywhere.
and
Yeah,
you know what
yeah.
I'm saying? So growth rate and growth length is something very unique. I don't know if it's something that's ever frustrated you, where people are like, no matter what I do, my hair doesn't grow to this point.
Yeah,
Or
I
mm,
think that's the conditioning that we just usually get as black girls because about our law, like we want to braid our hair.
yeah,
We want to braid our hair, so
yeah.
we are forced to go relax it at the salon because we want to see some, some length.
Mm-hmm.
So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's just a conditioning that we definitely have. But I think it's also like for me, it's also just a universal understanding, I guess, about
Mm-hmm.
just how different we are. I think I see it with my husband. Like he shaves to like yesterday, today already hair is like wanting to, and like not everyone is the same.
Yes. Yes.
So I think I could completely acknowledge that.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
the way the rate at which your hair will grow is completely different from the next
Mm,
person. So just
mm,
embracing that helps you have a healthier relationship with your hair. You know,
mm, mm,
the next thing would be the texture of your hair. So
mm,
texture is, people with straight hair, their
mm,
problem is greasiness. So
mm.
the oils and lipids flow through the hair strands, and so they
Oh.
have greasiness as their challenge. Also, that straight kind of like protrusion means it's also an optimal environment for lice and things like that. Um,
Mm,
because of the condition and the shape of the hair. So
mm,
for them, washing hair almost every day is critical. Otherwise, they're left with greasy hair. Whereas
mm.
if your hair starts to, get
Coil.
texture and curl,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It means that at every coil, at every turn, liquids, lipids and oils are being
Mm,
lost. So that's why you'll
mm.
find the tighter the coil sometimes, the drier
The
the hair,
dry, yeah,
because it's
yeah,
got more coils, right?
yeah, yeah,
And then the
yeah.
the more open, the less the dryness
Mm,
because it's flowing. So
mm,
understanding that about texture is just like, so when, for instance, if I don't know, if I like put water, just water on my hair, I tie
yeah.
my shoelace, I come up, it's dry. It's not even like it's, hey, goodbye.
You made right, right.
Yeah, it's the moisture games, whatever, hide and seek,
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
at first, I used to feel like something's wrong with my hair because
Mm,
I was used to it being straight. You know what I mean?
mm,
And so when it was stretched
mm,
and relaxed, it's a whole different ball game from when it's
yeah.
natural coily texture. So just knowing that,
Mm,
oh, because my hair goes coily,
yeah, yeah.
it gets dry. That's not a sign of
Sure,
I don't know what, but it's just the nature of this texture. And then
sure.
you'll find that, hey,
Sorry, I'm saying that just, yeah, that was very enlightening, actually. I think it's a very big step to leading to embrace because that's something very interesting to know. Yeah,
yeah,
love
yeah,
that.
yeah. So embracing that becomes very, very important. And I mean, I think I'll pay them up with the so what now, with the education element. So now that you know that, look, this texture is more dry, it means a lot of the things that you're going to do is to preserve the moisture. So there are things
Mm,
that if you had straight hair, you could get away with and there wouldn't be a dryness issue. But because your
mm,
hair is more textured, when you do certain things, it just exaggerates the texture. I mean
ah,
the dryness. So that's why you'll hear people talk about, oh, sleep with the satin cloth.
mm.
Why? It's because cotton loves drawing out moisture.
Ah,
So if you
okay.
sleep on a normal pillow, that moisture is drawn out even more.
Ah,
You see what I'm saying? So use your
mm,
satin pillow, and your satin pillow is also good for your
mm,
skin because
mm,
cotton rubs the skin, whereas
mm,
satin,
mm.
by what?
What chichiriza fela
Yes,
mfowethu.
yes. I always say, you know what? When God made us, He knew. He was like, these people, they're made for wealth. They're made for wealth. You need to be putting oils on your hair. You need to be putting like satin to sleep with. These
Girl,
people,
I love that
so
for us.
so knowing, that's why we'll talk about, you avoid materials that are prone to drawing out moisture. So hence satin.
Mm,
You avoid even
mm,
hair bands, that would be like
mm,
drawing out moisture. So that's just the
mm,
main thing. Even when you dry your hair after washing it, this material, a t-shirt material, is better.
Yeah.
than a towel.
Mm.
Remember the usual cotton thick towels,
Yes, yes,
because
yes,
the
yes.
thick towels, what they do is they draw out moisture real quick, and that can
Mm.
be what we call hydro fatigue for our hair. So knowing that, okay, texture means at every coil, moisture and lipids are being lost. So your hair care routine looks like preserving much of that as possible. That also leads me
Mm.
to how we wash our hair. So you might have heard, Barry, hey, don't use sulfate. Use sulfate free. I don't know if you've heard
Mm. Yeah, yeah,
about
yeah.
that
I've
yet.
heard of
Yeah.
it.
So
Yeah.
sulfate is the
I don't know
thing that,
details about it. I've just heard it.
yeah, you
Yeah.
probably heard, no, because sometimes people feel like, oh, natural hair, okay, I need a degree. Sell what the
Mm.
it
Mm.
can feel overwhelming.
Yeah,
It can feel overwhelming. But the
definitely.
thing is, the moisture preservation with textured hair is the goal, you know, because moisture gives us that
Mm.
flexibility that we need. So, um, okay, let me pause there because I just want to talk about the embrace stuff. So, we're embracing
Okay.
our hair growth, and that it grows at a
Mm.
certain pace, it grows to a certain extent. But truth be told, Karabo, most of us don't know how far our hair goes, because by the time it's like
Mm.
halfway, it's cracking up because we don't know how to take care of it.
Mm.
So yes, everybody has
Mm.
a different like maximum length that each hair strand can go. But in the black hair community, we don't reach our potential because of just damage. That's just the truth.
Mm.
And then secondly, like I said, texture is important to just embrace and say, okay, this is my texture and this is what it is. It's not something I'm fighting,
Mm.
it's just something I'm embracing, right? And then the last thing is
Mm.
porosity. So if you looked at a hair strand under a microscope, it looks like fish scales. If you think
Okay.
about fish scales, so how the fish
Yeah, yeah,
scales
yeah.
lie flat or open is what we kind of call
Mm.
porosity. So if your
Okay.
fish scales are like very
Mm.
open, we say you have high porosity, and that means moisture in,
Okay.
very easily comes in, but also bye bye,
Ah.
it leaves very quickly.
Easy in, easy out.
Easy in, you know what I'm saying? So that's high porosity hair, and the usually the feature would be like, you're able to put in like mine. I'd put in the mist very easily or whatever product, and a few rubs, not even much, the product is like completely in. That's like,
Ah.
mine is more normal, but like it's the porosity is normal to high. The product easily comes in. But somebody with low porosity hair would
My
need to
daughter, my
massage.
youngest one.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, you need to sort of like
Yes.
work that hair in. It works really well when it's like, steamed up or something like that, or, when conditioning is very important, because then that becomes the time where really the product penetrates. So you think, hi, man,
Mm.
my hair just came in. Here I'm working. That's porosity.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
So you're saying you and your daughter have
Ah.
different porosity, probably?
Yeah, she has a low porosity depths.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
usually do the hydrating mist and then have to, and then with me it's just chop 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 and then you just
It's
rub it
in.
in and then we're done. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So that, yeah, you run a high porosity and low
Hello, girl.
porosity.
Hi everyone. Hey, everyone who's joining us. Yeah, so we're going through embrace, guys. The journey of embracing your hair, getting educated about it, and eventually being able to celebrate it, right? So we've embraced that
Yeah.
our hair grows at a different pace and length. We've embraced that
Mm,
it's got different texture. We've embraced that it's got
mm.
different porosity. So porosity really tells us about how we're going to interact with product. So now you're not going to be throwing
Ah.
away stuff like, "I next one,"
Mm,
you understand that,
mm.
okay, my hair's got, low porosity, so I'm gonna have to work it in. But the thing with low porosity is that
Child.
once it's in, it takes longer to get out, you know. So
Mm,
that becomes the
mm,
the
mm.
differences there.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So it's
Yeah.
maintained in the hair a bit longer. Um, so
Mm,
if you have high porosity hair like myself, you always want to seal that moisture. So sealing moisture, that's where the
mm.
oils and the butters
Yes.
come. So you'll find that you use the sheer aloe cream. You use the sheer aloe cream, and then you can put an oil on top of that to just even secure. Aha, yeah, yeah, to just secure in that moisture. That
Wait, so
becomes
you use these two together?
yes, yes.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So usually we have like especially once a week, or actually like I do it maybe twice a week, where I do the lock combo. So the lock combo is where you
Mm.
layer in moisture in your hair so that there's maximum retention. And that would be where you put in your hydrating mist.
Mm.
Uh-huh. So the hydrating mist is great then for your scalp, moisturizing your scalp, which is something
Mm.
people forget a lot, that you need to take care
Mm.
of where the hair comes from, essentially, which is the scalp.
Mm.
So you moisturize your
Mm.
scalp, you're moisturizing also your hair. Then you come in and add the second layer, which is the sheer aloe cream,
Mm.
which is also a leave-in
Okay.
conditioner. And then you
Mm.
come in and then put the oil, especially on your ends and your edges.
Ah, okay. So
So
oils are
that,
good for the edges.
yeah, because it really
Because
strengthens hair. Oil
I definitely
strengthens hair.
use it. Yeah, I've seen how well it's done for my hairline. So I've been using it predominantly for that. Okay.
Nice, nice. I'm glad. So that becomes like the things, we sort of embrace, and embracing them means now we can even talk about how we get educated on them.
Mm. Mm.
And then there's the husband whose hair grows in 2 days. Hello.
Husband, you're part of this
Hello.
live now.
Hi.
Hey, thanks
he,
for being
he,
a silent
he,
partner. We didn't even know you were in the
yes,
room.
he loves the shampoo. My shampoo is almost finished because of him.
I'm
Hey.
here. I'm with him. I'm with him.
Yes. So lucky for him, our products are all, they pro health. So even that beard shall prosper.
Yes, yes, it's prospering. Thank you.
Fantastic, fantastic. So then now coming to the education. And I mean all the stuff that I've been telling you about has to do with education, but really with education the focus is now what is healthy hair. And
Mm,
our obsession, you could say, about healthy hair is that we don't want you to just, we believe that hair is like it's an accessory. It's a
mm,
god-given accessory that you can play around with, and
mm,
enjoy. Do the braids to this to whatever. It's an
mm,
accessory that you have. But the
mm,
reason we emphasize health is that we don't want you to just enjoy it today. We want you to be able to enjoy it in the long run. And especially
mm,
with, like, a woman of color with textured hair, is that when they hit like menopause, all the bad things you've been doing sort of come forth,
mm.
and
Okay.
your scalp is like, thank you, bye bye, shop,
Deuces.
deuces. You have not been good to us. So we emphasize
Ouch.
hair because we want you
Yeah.
to enjoy your hair, not just today, but in the long run, to have
Mm,
this accessory to play around with. And
mm,
so that's why with education, the emphasis is healthy hair. So what is healthy hair? Firstly, let's talk about what makes hair, né? The science of
okay.
hair. Just two components.
Okay.
Your hair is
Okay.
made up of hydrogen bonds, which talk
Mm-hmm.
about moisture. So moisture is
Okay.
in the hair,
Okay.
and moisture gives
Yeah.
us what? Flexibility. So we're able to do this. This is flexibility. I've
Ah.
put in hydrating
Okay.
mist. I have flexibility in the hair. That's moisture. The
Okay.
second
Okay.
component is hydrogen. Hydrogen is the strength in the hair. I mean, sorry, protein.
Mm.
Protein is the strength in
Okay.
the hair. So your hair is
Okay.
made up of, you know, the hydrogen bonds, flexibility,
Yeah.
the protein bonds, strength.
Strength.
So healthy
Mm.
hair is a balance of strength and flexibility, you
Ah.
know? And I think that's also
Mm.
what you need for life, right? You need to be flexible, you need to be strong.
Yes.
I'm like, hair tells us a
Actually,
lot, man.
actually, that resilience, that
And you
resilience.
being a mom, you know all about that.
You need it all. Yeah,
You need
yeah,
to
yeah.
be
Well, okay, so
constantly.
it's
Mhm.
hydrogen coils and protein. So hydrogen coils is flexibility
Bonds,
and
bonds,
protein.
bonds.
Oh, bonds.
Aha,
And then protein is strength. Okay,
exactly.
okay,
So
okay.
when we say your strand is healthy, it means it's got a good
Mm,
combination of strength and moisture.
okay.
So I always say, when it comes to our textured hair, don't ever touch and play around with it when it's dry,
Mm,
because then you don't have that flexibility. Because remember, it coils.
mm,
So it means you don't have that
mm.
flexibility. So if you're going to be trying to manipulate it when it's dry, chances are you're going to be damaging it and breaking it. And I think you
Damaging it.
mentioned it with your braids. The last time you had your braids is that you
Mm.
were not taking care of it. So what is
Moisturizing it,
supposed
yeah,
to
not
be,
at all.
what is supposed to be a protective hairstyle is then just, it's just your
Damaging.
hair cracking. Exactly.
Mm,
Yeah. And then
mm,
also,
mm,
we have a bit of an obsession with oils, in the black hair
mm,
space. So rabisa, yo,
mm. Yeah.
every day gabe. No shade, but rabisa, yo, rabe.
Yeah, and the base of monate jong se ba go
Yeah,
massager. It's king.
but now think about your skin. If all you did to your skin was put oil fela, oil fela,
Esh,
there's no
esh.
hydration. So even for your scalp, we need hydration. So what you'll find with, for
Mm,
example, our MabuTribe range is that our oils are also like the components of our oils is that they penetrate. Our products penetrate through, so that you can tomorrow
mm,
when you apply,
mm,
it's actually reapplying versus product buildup.
mm.
So if you use things like
Ah,
petroleum, if you think about petroleum, so we don't have
yeah,
petroleum, we
can
don't have
penetrate.
paraffins,
Okay.
silicones, because if you put Vaseline
Uh.
here and I pour, oh, not Vaseline, not petroleum jelly,
Not petroleum
but
jelly. I know
petroleum
what
jelly.
you mean.
So if I
Yes.
put petroleum
Even now
jelly
they built. Yes.
and then I pour water
Mm,
and I pour water, what happens?
mm,
Uh, it just slides off, right? So if I put petroleum jelly here, pour water, it just slides off, right?
mm,
So
mm.
that's what happens with a lot of people on their scalp. We put
So that's what we're doing when
grease.
we're basing.
We're putting grease and grease on top of grease on top of grease, and then there's not enough moisture on the scalp for our,
Mm,
the condition of healthy hair growth to happen. So basing is
mm,
good. Why? Because
mm,
we're bringing that oil onto our hair, which is also lost right through through
mm,
you know
mm,
also it
mm,
encourages with a lot of like this stimulation of blood flow that is good for
mm,
helping with good healthy hair growth. But just
mm.
oil is not gonna moisturize, because remember, we're trying to achieve a
Exactly.
balance of moisture
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and strength. So oils, they're good
Yeah.
for sealing moisture, they're good for strengthening the hair, but
Mm,
you can't just base, you are just basing. No,
yeah.
you gotta balance it. Are you a
Okay,
baser? Are you a
noted. I'm a
baser?
baser. Re na lo tshwarana, o mong a dule mo, o mong a dule mo, o mong re
Yeah.
tshwetsa sone, baisane. Such a tradition.
But that's good. But always make sure, obesa when you've also moisturized. Hi everybody. Hi everybody. You see some new people joining us. We're going through the MabuTribe healthy hair journey. We're
Yes.
embracing our hair. We're getting educated, and we're gonna be celebrating our hair. So education is about understanding your hair needs a balance of moisture and strength.
Mm,
Now, the next thing about education that I wanted to talk about is washing the hair.
yes.
Yes, we don't have to necessarily wash it every day. It's not like we're mopping the floor with our hair.
Mm,
And I was, I was about to touch on the sulfate thing.
yeah.
Many people, especially when you haven't had your hair straight, if your hair's not relaxed, which we don't
Mm,
want it to be because of the harshness of those chemicals, right? We want to be able to
mm,
wear it in its natural form, and then be able to manipulate it from there without
mm,
any harsh chemicals, right? So the
mm,
beauty about textured hair, I call it a flexible monument. It's
mm,
it's a canvas, because you
mm,
put moisture, I'm able to make it go there, twist it, and then
mm,
let it dry there, and then it's gonna be like, and then I can take it there,
mm,
and then it's like, it's
mm.
it's a canvas. It's a canvas for
Yeah,
design.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah,
the
yeah,
nature of textured hair. You can have it straight, you can have it coiled, you can have it twisted.
yeah.
It's a
Mm,
canvas for so many things. But knowing
mm,
how to do those things so that you're not damaging your
mm.
hair, that's the thing.
Yes.
So we need to
Yeah.
find freedom in our hair, freedom to express without damaging the scalp.
Mm,
So the first thing about like your routine is about a clean scalp and clean hair is critical.
mm. Okay.
Very simple reason. Um, Even if you had the magical oil to base with, if your scalp is dirty, if your hair is dirty, it can't penetrate. So you're spending lots of money on the product, but you can't even optimize it. So first and foremost is that
It can't do what it has to do because
can't do what it
it's
has to
not
do.
clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clean scalp and clean hair is critical. It also helps with then encouraging healthy hair growth, because you need your scalp to breathe. You need your hair to breathe. So if your scalp is clogged up all the time, then what happens is that it can't grow. It can't grow
Yeah.
optimally, So with braids, I know we love our braids, and sometimes we can overdo it, right? We can have it for months, and maybe one wash in between. And the tip there, I'll just throw in a tip there, is that if you want to have your braids, I mean, about 4 weeks is a good time. But I know a lot of us will then stretch it beyond that. But make sure that in between there, every second week you're definitely getting in a wash. Don't be scared to actually go in and clear out your scalp so that it's breathing. Soak in your hair so that the product buildup from just the elements, is getting cleared out. So that when you have your hydrating mist and you're actually spraying it in, it's going into the hair. It's doing something for the hair, you know that's going to be like a big tip. And then also, if you want to have that, because sometimes we don't wash because we don't want it to be all fluffy, or we don't want it to be out. So that's why we have, for example, for you, we have the Nourishing Pomade. So the Nourishing Pomade is the molder. And if you wanted to do, because some people like you know they are you still there? Oh, I think our guest is frozen. Okay, but I'll continue for I'll continue because at least it's being recorded. Um, and what I was saying is that if you want to achieve, you know, some of the edge, hi Karabo. I think Karabo's just the network is just slowing down there,
Can
but
you hear me?
yes, I can hear you. I can hear you now. We lost
Okay,
you there
cool.
for
I
a
got
bit.
you. I got
Yes.
you.
So I was just saying that
I
sometimes,
got you.
people are wary of like washing their braids or their hair, because then they feel like, oh, it's not going to look as polished as when I just first did it. And that's also something we need to release and choose health over that. But also, if you want to add like, that finishing look to your braids, that's the Nourishing Pomade, and the
Yes.
Nourishing Pomade is also, it's petroleum free, paraffin free. So, and it's rich in like castor oil, olive oil. So it's not like your typical gel. It actually is strengthening your hair while you put it on. So a lot of people who are trying to regrow their hairlines have the challenge of, okay, but I want to conceal my hairline as well. And then they use very dehydrating gels, which then, as the little hairs, the little hairs are like, yo, we're trying. And then you're like,
Oh.
crack it. Yo, what you they're like, yo, can we just? And you're like, you know.
Allow us to flourish, man.
So the Nourishing Pomade is there so that even when you want to achieve like sort of like a polished look, even with your braids, you can slap this on and be comfortable with slapping it on. Like, let's say you wanted to tie your braids to the side, and
Yeah.
you felt like, oh, it's a bit too fluffy everywhere. I wished it looked more polished. And maybe that's the reason you didn't want to wash it. You just put it to the side. You take your pomade. You take your pomade and you slap it on to your edges. I'm just gonna demonstrate now. You just slap it onto your edges. Use a brush. I want to talk about the brush because people are damaging their hairlines with the kind of brushes they're using for their hairlines. Toothbrush might not be a good idea. Your old toothbrush.
Convenience,
I'm
man.
calling
Tlholo,
everybody
man.
out there, man. I'm calling us out.
Convenience, girl.
It's convenient, but if you can't, if you feel like you do this with your brush, so maybe you have like a super soft, those soft bristle brush, okay, fine. But if you do this with your brush and it's painful, it's damaging your hairline. It's damaging your hair. It's too harsh. It's too harsh.
So get softer toothbrush, everybody.
yeah.
Get a softer toothbrush.
Precisely. Buy the expensive toothbrush to then use for your hairline
Yes.
after you've used it for 5 months.
Repurpose, yeah.
But this is me just saying we want you to be able to enjoy your hair, not just today, but for the long
Yeah.
run. So be sensitive. If you're gonna use the pomade, like I've used the pomade here, I put it through. I come in with my soft bristles,
Yeah.
and I can shape it. You can slap it on for 2 reasons. Nourishing pomade actually it's a high rinse off. So even on your braids, if you've had it on, rinsing it out, it comes off easily. It's designed to rinse off easily, so you don't have to be afraid that I don't want to put this gel on my braids and then it's going to create that clunkiness and then I can't even wash it off. You know what I mean? So if you want to achieve that polished look, you can slap on your nourishing pomade even in your edges and taking it off and rehydrating your hair. Yeah.
I must tell you, this is Timo, my eldest. This is one of her most favorite things because now Miguel or the edges. She can't go to anywhere. She can't go to the peoples without. She'll even cry for it. Hore, babes. So I had to practice how to. Hey, I had to practice
To do
Shams.
the
Yeah,
things,
she loves
to do
it.
the
To
things.
do the
And
things.
I think
Yeah.
the other thing with the pomade is that you need to let the product set in, right? So
Mm,
tying it with a scarf, especially a satin
mm,
scarf or silk scarf, that helps the product set. So like if I've put it on like this, then I'll take my
yeah.
satin cloth, tie it a bit, let the
Where
product.
Robatse.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and it also sets and dries up a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah. Okay.
Then we're good to go.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love
so
that.
so that was really like the education, and I wanted to just touch on one last thing. Oh yeah, because our time is almost up. Just like one last thing about education would be tangles.
Okay.
Tangles. If you have textured hair, you'll find that they love each other. There's a lot of love going on. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of love.
Yes. Yes. Too much. Too much.
So, and the coilier, the more the love. The more the love. So being aware of the fact that, okay, this is my texture and it intertwines quite easily. One thing that you might have heard about, just going back to the washing, is that you'll hear people say condition your hair, but you don't really know what does conditioning do. And when you go for a treatment, you're going to treat one of two things: the strength in your hair or the moisture in your hair. That's what a treatment is all about. Because I know you're like, yo, I mean, I used to not know the stuff and I'd be like, yeah, for treatment. Go treat that, obviously. I got treat that.
Yeah, good
You
treatment
know,
thing.
but it's about you
Yeah.
having the balance of these two. That's what treatment is about. Now, conditioner, what it helps with is that it brings this nice, almost invisible seal over your hair that allows your hair to glide instead of grinding against each other. Because remember, it intertwines and all of that when you're styling it. So conditioners are about protection of the hair. And when we say it's a deep conditioner, so like the MabuTribe Deep Repair, it's that it not only protects the outside of the hair, but it also penetrates the hair shaft and protects you from the inside out, if you get me. Yeah.
Yes, I do. I do.
Yes. So that's what a conditioner is about. So this is a treatment actually. I know a lot of people don't know, but the deep repair conditioner,
Treatment.
and it's a balancing treatment. It treats the strength in your hair. It also treats the moisture in your hair. It repairs. So especially you've just finished, taking out your braids, you put in that treatment. So every time you wash with the MabuTribe, shampoo, which is sulfate free, and sulfate is the thing that after you wash dishes, you feel like your skin is about to crack. That's sulfate. It strips all the grease, and we love that for our dishes. But our hair, we don't want it to strip every single ounce of oil from our hair. So that's why it's sulfate free.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that would be yeah. So in your routine, you'd wash your hair with the shampoo. You'd then condition it to protect it and to treat it, right? And then you'd make sure every day you're balancing that moisture and strength through the other three products. That's essentially the gist of it.
So with the quality that I have with my what did I call it? Maybe it's a ski report. Hey, we used to insult our hair so much. Imagine calling
We
your hair
do.
ski
I know.
report. So how then would I have to kind of use the shea alubata like daily? Is that like a daily routine for me to keep moisturizing, particularly with my high porosity?
So here's the thing. If you've got braids like now, the
Yeah.
hydrating mist is your go-to.
Mm. Yeah, it's my hand, that one. I love
Yeah.
it so much.
So you're hydrating your scalp, you're hydrating your hair. It can be every other day because your hair is not fully exposed. So every other day, hydrating your scalp and your hair on a regular basis. And then the oil, you can do a daily,
Yeah.
every other day as well, scalp massage. So the
Yeah.
thing with product is that you're not trying to overload your hair as well, you
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah.
you're making sure that you're keeping it hydrated from that perspective. And then
Mm.
every 2 weeks, like I was saying for you, go in, don't be scared, go into the shower, rinse out that product,
Mm.
take the
Mm.
shampoo, put it especially on your scalp,
Mm.
massage it through, let it run through your braids, squeezing
Okay.
it,
Okay.
and don't be scared. You're actually revitalizing your hair, and making sure that the great investment in the hydrating mist actually goes a long way
Mm.
and can penetrate
Mm.
your scalp and your hair. And then when people talk about dandruff and that kind of stuff, so dandruff sometimes means your skin is always shedding. So people who have like
Mm.
high shedding on their hair and their scalp,
Mm.
they'll have the visibility of flakes. So what helps with
Mm.
that is hydrating your actual scalp
Mm.
so that that flakiness goes away, and
Mm.
also using the oil to actually create a lubricant on your scalp. That
Mm.
helps as well,
Okay.
even for little ones with the kiddos. I use this for cradle cap, the cradle cap that kids usually have.
Yes. Okay.
Put the
Okay.
the MabuTribe kids oil on the
Ah.
cradle cap
Okay. I
as
love
well.
that. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So I mean that
Yeah.
that's really the basis of it. I know we've reached our time. Thank you so much for your generosity. Thank you for actually coming through and being vulnerable to share with us. I'm curious if you have any questions or
Yes.
any thoughts.
I have such a random question.
Yeah.
Does a hair dryer damage our hair? Like
Good
drying a hair?
question. Good
Yeah.
question. Thank you for asking that actually. So
Yeah.
what I actually was trying to touch on is about detangling, right? I was saying
Yeah.
detangling, which I didn't get into,
Mm-hmm.
which is that our hair tangles a lot. So the longer it
Mm.
gets, the if you want to wear it out, remember our hair
Mm.
has versatility. So if I were to actually have my hair worn out, like after I wash it, it's this short,
Mm.
né?
Mm.
And that's a way
Yeah.
of wearing it. But usually I
Mm.
want to wear it stretched, not necessarily
Mm.
straightened, but stretched. And stretching
Mm.
out this hair means holding it. I usually take a band here and put another band here at the end.
Okay.
Like I'll take this pony or this pop hair, I'll tie it at the bottom, I'll tie it at the top, and sleep with it overnight, and then it stretches, because that's the nature of textured
Ah,
hair, is that it the
can
how moisture
stretch.
plays in and out, it stretches. So a hair
Mm.
dryer. Okay, my boys. Somebody has escaped our parameters and has joined us.
Hi.
Okay, I will help you. Um, the what was I saying? The
The hair dryer.
Yes, the hair dryer. What it helps with is the stretching, right?
Mm.
So
Mm.
for instance, like now that I'm this side in Boston and it's super cold.
Mm.
Sometimes just washing the hair and leaving is not an option because it's so cold.
Listen.
So a
Listen.
hair dryer is bad for when one, you don't have protection over your strands.
Okay.
So if you don't have a heat protectant, then it means that you are
Mm.
frying or you're cooking your
Yeah,
hair and
cooking.
drying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
there's a way to actually utilize a hair dryer that will leave your hair feeling nourished, which is
Okay.
if you used the shea butter, the shea aloe
Yeah.
cream.
Yeah.
So assuming you've just been from the shower and your hair's wet, you put on the
Yeah.
shea aloe cream. Even it's the
Yeah.
same for the kiddies, and then you put on the oil splendor, right? The scalp and hair oil.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put those two on, and they act as not just as hair protectants for your hair, but they
Yeah.
actually are going to soften your hair.
Mm.
And the reason is that we've got shea butter, we've got olive oil, we also have castor oil, which have high cooking points. So high cooking points is
Mm.
when the temperature at which an oil cooks. So
Mm.
if you use other oils, is that it will just start cooking and frying your hair as you actually are drying it. You know,
Fish
um,
oil, Lebaton.
yeah. But if you're using the shea aloe cream and you use
Mm.
our scalp and hair oil and you blow dry it, you should tell me actually and try it. Your hair
Mm.
will be left feeling soft, nourished, stretched, and you can play around with
Okay.
it.
Okay.
So this goes
Yeah,
for
I'll
your
try
little
it.
one as well. So
Yeah.
using a blow dryer can be convenient. It doesn't have to be a damaging exercise.
Mm.
The last
Yeah.
thing is that when you blow dry your hair, remember fish scales. Think about fish scales.
Yeah. Yeah.
Our
Yeah.
fish scales are lying that way. They're going this direction. This direction. Right? What?
Mm.
They're going this
Mm.
direction. So blow
Yeah.
dry your hair in that direction. Don't just don't
Ah.
blow dry your hair against the fish scales. Can you imagine the damage of the fish scales now being blown
Oh,
onto?
taking it to the opposite direction.
Yes. So use the
Ah.
direction of the hair strands like this. So make sure the hair is coming
Ah.
this way. That's the
Mm.
main thing. Exactly. And then
Mm.
and then incorporating a hair dryer in your hair actually becomes something that is of convenience and brings
Mm.
stretch and brings health into your hair versus damage. So if you're
Mm.
blow drying your hair and afterwards it feels like your hair is dry, hard,
Mm. Yeah. Something
the
wrong.
technique. You haven't used the right
Ah.
technique for your texture.
Ah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
No, I love it.
I don't know if I see.
Listen.
Is
No.
there is there a comment
I've
there?
just. Yeah, it's TE though. I don't know. Hello, Pasaline Coppin. I don't know. Pasaline Coppin was saying
Oh,
something.
hello, hello, hello. Thanks for joining
Hi.
us. Um,
Yeah, man. Listen, I've been using your products for about 2 months, and Staba, my husband this morning was like, okay, so what's the plan today? I'm like, I've got a live. He's like, oh yeah, MabuTribe. He's like, hey man, yeah, no, their products are the one, man. I think we've witnessed it with the kids' hair as well. I mean,
wow,
um,
wow.
it's taken seeing that the something is working for me to be brave again to attempt to do Benny Betty, and play around and just touch the hair. So yeah, I think you like the product is absolutely incredible.
Wow, thank
And
you.
your passion is also very clear. And your insight also is like so valuable. So I am so glad that we got connected because now I know about porosity and word of the day, word of the day. Swear to
just
God.
just throw it in there as a party trick.
I swear to God. I swear to God.
Oh, thank you for the
Yeah,
kind
so thank you
words.
so
Thank you
much.
so much
Yeah,
for the kind words,
no,
Karabo.
yeah, thank you for having me on this journey. Yeah, we'll just share about how the journey is going. I'm definitely gonna. I actually am due for a wash then soon.
Okay,
Because I think I've had them for about a week.
okay.
So I haven't washed. I've just been hydrating. The
Yeah, it
hydrating
sounds
mist is
good.
the one. Like you can even feel it when it gets into your scalp. Like
That's that
with
peppermint and
just
tea tree. rejuvenating your scalp, girl.
honey. Yeah, it does the things. So yeah, it's been really good. Anna, so I'll definitely do the wash, and then when I take it off, I'm gonna do treatment.
Yes.
Kilesa treatment. It
Yes.
gets a treatment. When have I ever? I'm going to do my own treatment. It's gonna be
Exactly.
incredible.
Exactly.
Yeah. So thank you,
Thank you so
thank
much,
you.
Karabo. No, we
Cool.
are here for the long run. So we look
Yes,
forward to
thank you. I
continuing this
appreciate
journey
that.
with you. All
Yes,
right. All
yes. No,
right.
it's a
Have
it's
a
it's
good
a it's
day
definite
ahead.
definite journey. Thank you everybody for joining us.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
everyone. Bye bye. Cheers.
Just
All right. Bye bye.
bye.
Bye, brothers.
Bye, brothers. Are you stopping it on your end, or can I
Yes.
just leave?
Yeah, I'm trying to hope. Yeah, yeah. You can just leave.